Good evening, one and all. It's another edition of the Will Robertson Movie Review. Tonight's movie, Wreck-It Ralph, which opened November 2nd, so just a few days ago. In fact, it was the number one movie at the movie houses this past weekend. Runtime is 1 hour 41 minutes. It's rated PG, and Common Sense Media gives it an OK for kids age 7 plus. This movie is about a character in an arcade game character named Wreck-It Ralph, voiced by John C. Reilly, who is tired of always being the bad guy and losing to his good guy opponent, Fix-It Felix, voiced by Jack McBrayer. Finally, after decades of saying all the glory go to Felix, Ralph decides to take matters into his own hands. He sets off on a game-hopping trip to prove that he has what it takes to be a hero. However, while on his quest, Ralph accidentally unleashes a deadly enemy that threatens the entire arcade. Other voice-over artists include Sarah Silverman, Jane Lynch, and Alan Tudyk. And it's directed by Rich Moore. And it fits in the genres of animated, comedy, and family, according to Fandango.com. Do I recommend it? I'll say yes. For those of us like my age, who remember certain video game characters from the 80s and early 90s. There's Q*bert, there's Bowser, there's reference to Mario of Super Mario Bros. Fame. You'll see Sonic the Hedgehog make an appearance. And then the other characters. Now, if you look carefully at the crowd scenes, when the characters are in Grand Central Station, or Central Station. Well, I should have written that down. Grand Central Station, basically, when they're in the wall portion, where all the power outlets connect in the video game universe. You might see some other characters you recognize. There's actually characters from the Street Fighter series of games. Ryu and Ken and others. What was his name? The bad guy in the Street Fighter series that had the cape. I don't remember all the characters in those games, but you know who I'm referring to. Anyways, you'll recognize him when you see the movie. It's a good kids movie. Kids will get a kick out of it, I'm sure. It is a Disney film, so it has a typical Disney storyline arc to it. Cast of characters, good guy, bad guy, the typical arc. There's happy times, and there's trouble, and then there's problem, solution, climax of the movie, the good versus evil, and then the happy ending at the end. Always got to be a happy ending. It's Disney. Always got to be a happy ending, right? Always. I mean, not every Disney film had a happy ending, but this one does. At least in terms of how happy endings go. Let's see what I wanted to mention. Let's see. I went to the 1:20 showtime in Turlock at the Turlock Regal Cinema, and there was about maybe 15 to 20 people in the theater with me. And I'd say of those 20, maybe 8 of them were kids. No. More like 6. 6 to 8 of them were kids. So there were, some parents that had brought their kids to see the showing at that hour. Let's see. And now there were several previews I wrote down. I decided to bring my notepad in with me, and I took notes. Because, you know how you always wonder what previews you saw, before the movie? This one, I'm glad I took notes, because I would never remember this. There were 8. 8. Count them, 8. You can see the list here. 8 previews before this movie. 8 different movies. Seriously, Disney, do we need to see 8 previews? The showtime was at 1:20. The movie itself didn't start until 47 after the hour. Let's see, 20, 47. That's 27 minutes. 27 minutes, Disney. Seriously, I'm not paying for those 27 minutes. But anyways, the previews that they showed, they were all family-friendly previews, mind you. because it was a family-friendly movie. And I'm not including the Fathom events, advertising and the first look, which is 20 minutes before showtime. So, of the previews, starting at 1:20, we had Les Miserables, a behind-the-scenes look at the making of this new Les Miserables movie with Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway and others. And then, so that was that was a preview, but it didn't have the green screen preview before it. It just went straight into it. So here's a behind-the-scenes look at actually Hugh Jackman introduced it, as I recall. Okay, so we go on to the first of the actual preview. So we want to be technical about it. Seven previews, fine. 7. There's still too many. Monsters Inc. in 3D, the original Monsters Inc. But returning to theaters next month in 3D, coming at ya, So after that, we had Escape from Planet Earth. I still don't get that movie. I really don't. Looked funny. I don't know who the actors are. I haven't looked it up. I don't know. I have not bothered to go to IMDb or here on Fandango or wherever and look up who's in the movie, who's doing the voice. It's another animated flick, one of Disney's movies. So let's see. And then there's Great and Powerful. The Oz, Great and Powerful. I guess that's the order you say it in. The prequel to The Wizard of Oz, if you will. I'm not interested. Nah, I won't see that one. There's also, and then they went on to Despicable Me 2. After that, let's see, Rise of the Guardians. I have trouble reading my own writing. It was dark in there, so I had to write in the darkness. I hope I actually did pretty well. And then there was Smurfs 2 and The Hobbit. Now that's what I'm waiting for. The Hobbit. These prequels to the Lord of the Rings series of movies. Peter Jackson, one of the great directors of our time. I mean, he's up there, top 3 with Spielberg and Cameron. I definitely feel that Peter Jackson is. Obviously we know he is. He got his Oscar for the last of the Lord of the Rings movies. So he's up there. Peter Jackson is easily among the top 3 of all-time greatest American directors. So I'm looking forward to The Hobbit. So again, 8. If you count Les Miserables, 8 previews. That's just ridiculous. I'm there to see a movie. The showtime should be the actual start time. But that's that. I'm going a little long here, I know. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, Fathom Events. Go to fathomevents.com. If you're a Star Trek fan like I am, and I've already done this, I purchased my tickets for this event on November 29th, 7 p.m. Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 2, 2 episodes. Q-Who and Measure of a Man. And the Measure of the Man, that episode, they've added 13 minutes to Measure of a Man. 13 originally deleted scenes, so 13 deleted minutes to that episode. And they put these 2 episodes together and putting them in the theater, like they did for the first 2 episodes of the first season that I saw last back in June or wherever. Part of celebrating 25 years of Next Generation. I'm just bursting with excitement over this. I really am. So I've already got my tickets for it on the 29th at 7 p.m. Go to fathomevents.com to look into it. If you're a Trekkie like I am, I recommend you do that. Now, I didn't really talk much about the movie Wreck-It Ralph, did I? Well, not much to say. And then you'll recognize some of the video game characters. Others are composites of well-known characters. The character Jane Lynch plays, I would say that she's most similar to Samus Aran of Metroid fame. Yeah. And, before the movie, Disney has a Disney short called Paperman. It was okay. It was like a 5-minute short. Something like that. Maybe 6 minutes, whatever. So, it was interesting. It didn't have any, it was all animation, the animation doing the story instead of words, kind of thing. It was, a typical Disney short, happy ending, all that good stuff. And now during the movie, be on the lookout for a new word to add to your vocabulary. A new word, verb. And now, if you don't know what that means, I'm not gonna give it away. Watch the movie Wreck-It Ralph. The little girl. What's her character name? The character voiced by Sarah Silverman. Um, she creates this new word called verb. If you can't guess what it is, let me tell you, it fits Sarah Silverman perfectly. If you know who she is, if you know what kind of humor that she does, you'll understand this word right away. Now, obviously, being a family film, it is clean as it is clean for Sarah Silverman. Let me tell you, it's probably the closest she gets to being dirty in the entire film. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. That makes you go watch the movie. Wonder what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, then you do know what I'm talking about. So that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for listening. Let me see, I'll make a basket. Ah, fudge, I didn't make a basket. I'll go pick it up and toss it in. Anyways, that's all I have to say for tonight. I recommend you see Wreck-It Ralph. Good film, family friendly, and that's all for tonight. This is Will, signing off. You have a great night.